suicide is painless. It brings on many changes, and I can take or leave it if I please.
Although he was often, if not always, grouped together with the existential school of thought, Albert Camus despised this label. Instead, Camus championed the philosophical belief of absurdism. This belief is held together by two ever-conflicting issues: that humanity has always attempted to form reason or meaning from its existence, especially in regards to the finite nature of life, and that humanity will never find either of these. These conflicts, and any other that sprout from similar paradoxes, are known as the absurd. Because of the limits accepted by absurdism, Camus cast aside all other philosophical problems to focus his attention upon the only one that required an answer: suicide. Imagine watching a movie that you've never seen before. You know everything about it, including the plot twist at the end. If you already know how the film plays out, should you not simply fast forward to the credits? This, of course, is a far simpler version of the problem that Camus sought to solve. If life is inherently finite and is only leading up to death, then is suicide the proper response to the absurd? For Camus, there was one simple answer. Yes, suicide was the only answer, but it was the wrong answer. Camus believed that to commit suicide was the ultimate act against the absurd. When taking their own life, the perpetrator must completely acknowledge that life is too difficult. They have to accept its numbingly futile circuit of living simply to die. In the case of our movie, you would have to acknowledge that you are devoting upwards of 2.5 hours watching something that has already been spoiled for you. However, Camus also argued that humanity's greatest ability was that of revolt and rebellion. Within the context of absurdism, revolt is not merely an act of disobedience against a ruler. Instead, it was meant to be an acceptance and embracement of conditions put forth by an omnipotent force. To better explain this concept, let's look at a fairly familiar figure: Batman. Due to an arbitrary distinction between vigilantism and justice, Batman refuses to kill anyone. Hence, a vicious cycle ensues. Let's examine this further. Villain X threatens to or succeeds in killing large numbers of people. Batman fights Villain X. Villain X goes to prison. Villain X escapes from prison. Villain X threatens to or succeeds in killing large numbers of people, and the cycle repeats itself endlessly. From an absurdist standpoint, both Batman and Villain X are in complete control of their own destinies. In this case, the omnipotent force is morality, and both Batman and the villain fight to not become slaves of it. Ultimately, by perpetuating the cycle, they become masters of it. In our own everyday lives, Camus would argue that we clash against mortality in a fight that we know we can't win. Revolt allows humanity to come face to face with the absurd, without a need to completely resign to life's futility. Therefore, although suicide is total lucidity in response to the absurd, Camus also saw it as resignation, an easy way out. In other words, by skipping to the end of the movie, you resign to it, and in turn, miss all that the film could offer you. Camus saw the numbing repetition of life as a necessary evil to make the mind more sensitive to absurdity. This, in turn, makes the mind more appreciative of revolt, rebellion, and the ability for anyone to grasp onto their own destiny. In brief, by choosing not to watch the movie, you'll never be able to overcome knowing how it ends. With that said, the best thing you can do is sit down, strap in, and enjoy your feature presentation.
Jagged sky, I just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in.
Yeah, oh yeah, what condition my condition was